Hey y'all, you awesome Sparks artists, and welcome to the Sparks Art Room. My name is Mrs. Duga. Hey! And I am so excited to be your art teacher this year. Alright, we're going to start by going on a tour of the art room. I'm going to show you some of the things that might be a little bit different this year, some different procedures and things that you'll be doing. We're going to start with walking in the art room. You'll notice these three lines on the ground, primary colors. When you walk in the art room, you will walk on these lines to your seat. And when we line up, we will also line up on these lines to go out. All right, over in this corner, we have all sorts of activities, and this is what I like to call the yo-yo corner. And what that means, yo-yo stands for you're on your own. Sometimes when you're in the art room and you finish a project early and you have a little bit of extra time, you can come over here and choose something to do. I have lots of books that you can read. You can sit on the rug. You can even read a book to Sparky over here. I have drawing books over here in these bins. I have some blocks and Legos. Whiteboards, you can draw on whiteboards. I have some paper for free draw, or you could even get your sketchbook out and draw in your sketchbook. All right, next let's talk about the tables in the art room. There are 6 tables, and each table right above it has a number and a color, so you know what table you're sitting at. Each table has 5 stools, and you'll notice there might be something a little bit new. This is my supply cabinet. Each table has their own. Inside the first drawer, you're gonna find pencils, erasers, scissors, glue sticks. The second drawer is going to have markers and crayons. And then the third drawer is where we are going to store our sketchbooks this year. Every student in the school is going to get a sketchbook. These are going to be for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade sketchbooks. And each folder will have a teacher's name on it, and then that's where you're going to keep your sketchbook for the year. You'll also see that each spot at the table is labeled with a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the reason why is because everyone's gonna have a job to do in the art room. Right over here by the sink, we have art jobs. If you're sitting in the number 1 chair, you are teacher's team. And what that means is that you're my helper. You're in charge of getting supplies out, passing out paper, doing the table folders. You're just a good helper for the table. Number 2, you are neat freak. And what that means is that you're in charge of making sure the table gets cleaned at the end of class. That might just mean throwing trash away, or it might mean actually cleaning the tables. To clean the tables, we're gonna have something called a tiny towel. Over here by the sink, there's a bucket of tiny towels. And when you are number 2, at the end of class, you'll come get a tiny towel. They will be wet. You'll go wipe your table and then bring your tiny towel back to the bucket. If you're a number 3, you are in charge of supplies. And what that means is you're in charge of the supplies in your supply cabinet. So making sure that you pass out the pencils, erasers, scissors if we need them, crayons, you get those out, put them away. And you are one of the students closest to the supply cabinet. Number 4, you're in charge of sketchbooks. So that means getting the sketchbooks out for your table, putting them away, making sure they're getting in the right teacher's folder. And then number 5, you are human vacuum. And it means that you just make sure everything is picked up off the floor. If we have a big mess on the floor, I do have some dustpans and some brooms that you can use in order to get that cleaned up. Over here are our drying racks, and there's a spot on the drying rack for your table to put your paintings. When we paint for the first time this year, I will go over how to use the drying rack and how to put your artwork away. You might have noticed on the floor there are these paint spots, and those are my sit spots for my 1st graders and my kindergartners. So when they come in the art room, they will come straight to one of these sit spots so that we can have a discussion of what we are learning that day in art. All right, over here we have our I can statements. Get it? I can. And right below, each grade level has their own spot. So when you come in, you can look over here, you can see what we're gonna be doing for the day. all grade levels this first week, you're going to be learning about Mrs. Duga, learning about me, and the art room. Okay, next to our icons, we have our talk lights, and this is going to really help us determine what is an appropriate voice level in the art room. So when you come in, you might notice that one of the lights are on, telling you what type of voice level you should have. When I'm talking, giving instructions, of course, it's going to be no voice. So you'll see the red light on. Okay. Most of the time when we're working, it's either going to be yellow or blue, depending on how loud it's getting. So I'll come over here, and if you just should be whispering, I'll push your light on. And what that means is that only your partner can hear you. So your voice should be very low. If you guys are doing a really good job with talking, maybe I will turn on the normal voice level light. And what that means is that your table can hear you. So only your table. You shouldn't be shouting across the room to your friends. Only your table should be able to hear you. And our last light is the speak up light. And this is for when anyone is talking or giving a presentation or sharing their artwork, then you should be speaking up. You should have a green voice level. And last, let's go over our art rules. We listen carefully and follow directions. We show respect to people and things. We work together. We show pride in our work. We are unique and we have fun.